People do not fight for happiness enough. People have decided to lean into cynicism, into blame, into envy, into jealousy. People have really, like the world has done a really good number on the world. Mainstream media, social media, pessimism. Like people are selling all of you a bunch of bullshit. The world has never been better. The world has never been better. Period. This is the greatest era to ever be alive. I would switch with all of you in 10 seconds. And unfortunately, that's not what people think. So my advice to you is to fight for happiness. Try to understand why I'm telling you that. Go look at facts instead of headlines that are built to scare you. Well, I think success is very different in money for all of you, right? Like some of you were built in a very alpha home where and very good at school and type A, and you'll deem success as getting promoted, right? Getting the full gig and then getting promoted, and I understand that. For other people, success has some sort of financial number in their mind, right? Some people here have a specific number in mind. If I get to 100,000, if I get to 500,000, if I get to 1 million, and that's fine. For me, success is actually truly waking up on a Monday morning and smiling with no anxiety in your chest. And whether you make $40,000 or $4 billion and anything in between, boy oh boy, if more people woke up on Monday morning smiling cheek to cheek with lack of anxiety in their chest, the world would be epic. And that is the framework that I'm trying to create. That's what this is. That's why all of you reacted the way you did when Claude came on here. We're putting a lot of effort into that. And so we won't get it perfect, but we're trying our hardest. And so success for me is whatever you want success to be. You know what I mean? And there's some of you sitting here right now that want my job. And very honestly, I'd like one of you to be the global CEO of this whole holding company, because I'm getting old. I need one of you to rise up and take this throne. And so that's great. And then there's other people who've realized and can look around the company and say, whoa, that person looks happy. And whoa, they work 9 to 5, 5 days a week and have time for their kids and everything. I want that. And that's beautiful. And so or some of you are coming here to get as much knowledge as possible, and then you're gonna jump and start your own VaynerMedia, and that makes me happy for you too. I want success to be your success, but I want your success to be your success. Not what I deem success, not what your mama deems success, not whatever's cool on TikTok deems success. Figure out what the fuck your success is and be ready for it to change. What you give a fuck about at 22 changes at 27 and 31 and 39 and 52. So you may have a success in your mind right now, and then you might scratch that itch. And you might realize, I don't like it that much. And don't be disappointed by that, because a lot of people get depressed when they reach something be invigorated by that and realize you're on to your next success. So one of the advantages of being older is timing. So when MySpace, and even before that Friendster came, MySpace was very clear to me in 2005. How old were you in 2005?
6.
Beautiful. So when you were in kindergarten, trying to desperately figure out what the world is, I was sitting in a liquor store desperately trying to figure out why is the internet changing and what is this? And this feels different. This is different. This is not the last 10 years. This has something to it. And look how cool, oh wait, Rick Ross and Dane Cook, the comedian, and Tila Tequila, the model, they're winning on this thing. There's something happening. And so I took very big note, and then very quickly, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook came out, and I was like, okay, something's fucking up. And then right then and there, right behind that, the iPhone came out. And I was like, okay, this is a series of things that make sense to me. And the radio used to be the most important thing, and then the television was invented. And the television only used to have 3 channels, and then it had 13, and then it had 36, and then it had DirecTV. This makes sense to me, and so I followed my intuition. But, and this is important for all of you with AI, VR, NFTs, not only did I have intuition, I immersed myself in it. So I was 30 when I made my first video. And I made a video tasting wine because it's what I knew. And so I just put myself out there and made sure I tasted it and was a practitioner. You can only learn by doing. You can't talk about it in theory. And so, I think I have good consumer intuition and I have good willingness to become a practitioner. And so it was obvious to me because I was in it,
Yep, that totally makes sense.
And so like all of you can read the emails going back and forth at the company about AI and ChatGPT and Jasper and Midjourney, or you could go and use it. I don't judge myself when I don't feel like I've got it all grasped. You're absolutely right, the shit's moving super fast. It's okay to not be great at knowing how Snapchat works. It's all right if you've never downloaded Pinterest. It's cool if you have no fucking clue what the fuck's going on LinkedIn. You just keep trying every day. I think the biggest reason I don't get burnt out is because I don't beat myself up. By far, one of the biggest issues that so many people have, young, old, left, right, black, white, is people beat themselves up. And by the way, do not get it twisted. I'm not talking about not holding yourself up to a standard, but it's just a little patience. Back to the earlier question, I've been doing this every day for 17 years. I'm good at it now. Some of you have never thought about these platforms in this context prior to when you started here. You were using it to hook up. So like, I just have empathy for yourself.
Right.
That's how you try. And you realize, and I think you sense it here, like we have ambition, we're building a honey empire, but like, we're gonna give you a lot of time. As long as you're trying, Your relationships with each other going through this is everything. All of you are gonna be so far ahead in the world of business and marketing because you're coming up Vayner at a time where Vayner's like Apple in 1986. Like you're on it. You're at Facebook in 2010. You're like at Tesla at 12. Like, those are much bigger companies than we will ever be, but we are disrupting and are historically correct about advertising. There are literally people on this call right now who in 21 years are gonna be the CMO of Coca-Cola. Literally. And so like, what would I tell myself or what would I be thinking? That I need to make sure that I get everyone's LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, email from this group and go out of my way to be friends with everybody on Slack and create common ground with them around upbringing, interests, like at all costs. At all costs. There's nothing more valuable that will happen at Vayner than you taking advantage of you guys and gals are part of this little micro crew, and that makes you connected in a different way. And that all of you are coming into a company that is gonna accelerate your opportunities, whether within it. There are literally people in here that are gonna be the bosses of people in here. And by being friends, it's gonna be just a much more enjoyable life in 3 years. There's also people here in 19 years who again are gonna be CMOs of the biggest companies in the world that may help your child get an internship at that, like this is it.